Today we have some very interesting info on an individual that broke into a residence to suck another person's toes, National Talk Like a Pirate Day, and so much more.
We have today's weather forecast with Lily Fowler and a sports update with Sawyer Hughes.
Today is Monday, September 19th, 2022.
We are live from Studio H12 in the Shroyer Broadcasting Center at Bradley Central High School, and you're watching Vox News Today.
Welcome back. I'm Amber Filyaw.
And I'm Ian Reardon, and these are your top stories for today.
A slow, stately procession carrying Queen Elizabeth's II coffin into Wellington Arch in London. Her children followed behind. You can see the route from Westminster Abbey is lined by the armed forces all the way to the top of Constitution Hill. The last leg of her journey will be to Windsor for a committal service at St. George's Chapel.
The U.S. Geological Survey says a 6.9 magnitude earthquake has struck Taiwan's southeastern coast. Images from the area show some of the devastation it has caused. You see here several buildings have collapsed and a train has been derailed. 4 people who were trapped under a collapsed building have been rescued safely, the island's National Fire Agency reported.
A Florida man reportedly tossed a baby at police after a car chase and now is facing felony charges. Police say the man, John Henry James III, chucked a 2-month-old at authorities from 6 feet away and is facing charges for aggravated child abuse after instigating a car chase with the child in the vehicle.
On Christmas Eve, a man in Florida awoke to find that a burglar had broken into his home for the stated purpose of sucking on his toes. Deputies who responded to the scene say the victim told them he was asleep in his bedroom when the suspect woke him up by sucking on his toes. When the victim asked the intruder what he was doing, that person replied that he, quote, was there to suck toes, end quote. Deputies say that a fight then broke out and that the home invader tried to grab the victim's genitals while threatening him by saying that he had a gun. A gun was neither seen by the victim nor recovered at the scene. At some point during the chaos, the victim was able to get the intruder out of his house.
The California woman who faked her own kidnapping will be sentenced Monday. Prosecutors say Sherry Papini fled her home in 2016 and stayed with an ex-boyfriend. However, she told the FBI the 2 Hispanic women took her at gunpoint and tortured her. According to Papini's plea deal, she admitted she planned the hoax and lied to federal agent about the whole incident. She collected money from the state's Victim Compensation Fund through 2021 and used some of that money for home improvements. Papini faces up to 25 years in prison and $500,000 in fines. Some reports say prosecutors are leaning towards a much lesser sentence.
A Detroit police officer is in stable condition after being accidentally shot by their partner on Sunday. The officers were responding to a mental health emergency involving a possibly suicidal person. When they arrived on scene, a dog charged at them. One officer fired at the animal but accidentally hit the other officer in the leg instead.
He says it's much too early to make that decision. The comments mark a shift from what he and his aides have been saying publicly for most of his presidency, adding fresh uncertainty to a question that will be front and center for Democrats after this year's midterm elections. Biden's advisor expects him to talk about another run with his family over the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, with hopes that he'll announce his decision early in the new year.
The United States and the Taliban exchanged prisoners Monday. Mark Frericks from Illinois was captured in January 2020. The Navy veteran was in Afghanistan at the time doing contract work. He disappeared weeks before the U.S. and the Taliban signed a peace deal. Authorities believe he was taken by the Haqqani network, which has links to the Taliban. President Joe Biden called Freric's sister to let her know her brother is on his way back to the U.S. The Taliban received Haji Mohammed Bashir, who was held in U.S. custody on drug charges.
And now let's check on our weather. Lily, what can you tell us?
It's sunny outside today, so stay tuned for what I have to say about the weather forecast right after this break.
That sounds awful. Seriously, awful. But a lot better than last week.
We weren't born to follow.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Doug Vierthaler, General Manager of Cleveland Ford, and together,
We are Cleveland Ford.
Welcome back. I'm Lily Fowler with your weather, and here is your weather at a glance for today. It is currently 58 degrees, and the high for today will be 87 and the low will be 66. Precipitation is at 2% and wind will be at 0 miles per hour. Humidity is 95% with a dew point of 56 degrees and a pressure of 30 inches. Visibility will be at 8 miles with a UV index of 0. Puerto Rico is seeing catastrophic flooding in the wake of Hurricane Fiona. According to the National Hurricane Center, its acting director says he's not sure he's ever seen rivers rise as quickly in the U.S. The center says parts of Puerto Rico could be seen up to 30 inches of rain by the time the storm is over. Power has been out on the entire island. The 5-year anniversary of Hurricane Maria hitting Puerto Rico is Tuesday. The island received billions of dollars in federal funding for its electrical grid after that storm. Power officials say the system is better now, but it's still frail. And now let's take a look at our national radar. There will be rain in the west, in the east, and up to the Canada border. And now here's your local radar. There will be clear skies all through. And now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. On Monday, it'll be sunny with a high of 87 and a low of 66. On Tuesday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 90 and a low of 63. On Wednesday, it'll be sunny with a high of 93 and a low of 66. On Thursday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 90 and a low of 56. On Friday, it'll be sunny with a high of 77 and a low of 52. On Saturday, it'll be sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 61. And on Sunday, there will be PM thunderstorms with a high of 85 and a low of 62. That is all I have for your weather. Here's Sawyer with your sports report.
Some recaps for insane plays, a college football miracle, Michael Penix Jr.'s great play, and more right after this break.
You can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the king, come banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you could talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks, you can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland. I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Doug Vierthaler, General Manager of Cleveland Ford. And together,
We are Cleveland Ford.
At Whirlpool, we don't know how leaving the house less can make you need to eat more, or why the inside of the fridge is just so interesting. But we do know how to make appliances you can trust, day after day, after day, after day.
I was told the place I was looking for didn't exist.
A place that could refine my raw talents into something greater.
Where I could ask big questions about my faith, not settling for easy answers.
And I could risk what's comfortable in pursuit of my dream.
To join with others, find my voice, and change the world.
I was told that place didn't exist.
Then I found Lee.
At McDonald's, we're making changes every day to serve you better. It's what we're made of. And serving you better means fresh beef quarter-pounder burgers. Your burger, his burger, her burger. All cooked fresh, right when you order. Made from pure North American beef and just a pinch of salt and pepper. Because we think there's nothing better than a fresh beef quarter-pounder burger made for you, right when you order. And that's just one way we're showing you what we're made of.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented the facts.
Are you kidding?
Your proposal's ludicrous.
My proposal will go exactly the way I say it will.
My dead body.
I think somebody needs a timeout.
Oh, that's the power of one.
Civility. Pass it on.
One grain of sand can turn the tide.
I'm sorry, Hughes with your sports. Down by 3 touchdowns, Tua Tagovailoa and his speedy Miami receivers raced past the Baltimore Ravens in a stirring fourth-quarter comeback. Even Lamar Jackson couldn't keep up. Tagovailoa threw for 469 yards and 6 touchdowns, 4 of which came during the final period. And the Dolphins railed from a 21-point deficit to beat Jackson and the Ravens 42-38 on Sunday. Tagovailoa's 7-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Waddle with 14 seconds left, completing the incredible comeback after Miami trailed 35-14 under 13 minutes remaining. The Cardinals passed their first road test of the season in a 29-23 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday. Today marked the return of superstar J.J. Watt along with starting left guard Justin Pugh. Although not fully healthy and still missing DeAndre Hopkins, the Cardinals had 1 week of experience and entered week 2 just a tad earlier than before. After a poor first half, Arizona emerged as a new team. The Cardinals are now 1-1 to begin the regular season. Meanwhile, in the world of college football, a miracle occurred in Boone, North Carolina. Appalachian State quarterback Chase Bryce redeemed himself for an incomplete pass on 4th and goal from the 2-yard line just a minute prior by firing a 53-yard scoring strike to his wide receiver, Christian Horn, on the final play of the game. The Mountaineers pulled out a 32-28 victory over Troy in the Sun Belt Conference opener on Saturday. Bryce completed 22 of 34 passes for 278 yards and 2 touchdowns. Horn had 5 catches for 98 yards. Behind a spectacular performance by Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr., who completed 24 of his 40 passes, gained 397 yards, scored 4 touchdowns, and never turned the ball over. The Huskies authentically stated their case as a contender in the Pac-12 and may be worth some national recognition. An undefeated Washington toppled number 11 Michigan State 39-28 on Saturday night. Washington Huskies head coach Kalen DeBoer after the game had this to say, quote, "We just beat a really good football team in my mind. To get this win now, we're just going to continue to put the belief in our guys," end quote. That is all I have for sports. Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
CRCC to me is a calling that God placed on my life to really step out in faith on something that I didn't think I could do, and it's been amazing to see how God's worked through it.
CRCC stands for Crossroads Community Church, but we're a church that our vision is to be a life-giving church in our community. We do that through helping people know God, find freedom, discover their purpose, and then go make a difference. And so that's what we're doing every week, is helping people discover their jam and go make a difference.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland. I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Doug Vierthaler, General Manager of Cleveland Ford. And together,
we are Cleveland Ford.
Welcome back. Chelsea Eastep has filed a lawsuit against the cities of Nashville, Mount Juliet, and multiple police officers seeking punitive damages after her late husband Landon Eastep was shot more than 12 times and killed by police in January. According to police, on January 27th, a Tennessee Highway Patrol trooper responded to a man, later identified as 37-year-old Landon Eastep, sitting on the guardrail of a side of I-65 northbound near the Harding Place exit and offered him a ride home.
Newly released state performance data showed multiple East Tennessee school systems found themselves among the lowest performing districts in the state in the last academic year. However, 2 school districts were considered exemplary in the report. They were Newport City Schools and the Tennessee Schools for the Deaf. Sandra Burchett, the director of Newport City Schools, said they used their time during the COVID-19 pandemic to improve.
It's been nearly a year since a devastating tornado hit Mayfield, Kentucky, killing 8 people working inside a candle factory that night. Homes and other buildings around town were also destroyed. The city is cleaning up, demolishing buildings that can't be fixed, like the county courthouse. As Jasmine Youngblood reports, quote, people who live in Mayfield say it's time to let go, as difficult as it may be, capturing the memories and the change, end quote.
Rivka Vizcardo-Lichter is a sophomore at Oakton High School. She's now squarely in the middle of a game of back and forth over transgender issues. She's a member of the LGBTQ community and says transgender classmates have already reached out. New policies include requiring students to play sports and use the bathroom of their sex assigned at birth. They are now requiring parental notification and approval of changes in pronouns, but not making teachers use pronouns preferred by transgender students. All school districts in the state will be required to adopt new policies consistent with these rules.
Violinist Holly Mulcahy came up with the idea to perform classical music in front of inmates at Walker State Prison in Rock Spring, Georgia back in 2015. She knew she wanted to do more than just offer the prisoners an entertaining diversion for a couple hours. She wanted them to be meaningful, but she could have never predicted the influence it would have. Over 80 inmates, including lifers incarcerated for violent crimes like murder, signed up for violin lessons. Beginning September 19th, Mulcahy and Mary Margaret Neal will lead lessons for them. Neal will teach daily lessons, and Mulcahy will check in through the year.
The Chattanooga City Council is holding a hearing on Tuesday on a proposed $924,000 increase to the police department's $85 million budget, mostly using contingency funds but also pulling some funding from other departments. One of the major changes is adding 3 social workers to expand the crisis co-response team beyond the lone social worker who has been there since the team's launch earlier this year. Lieutenant Tim Tomisek leads the department's crisis co-response team, a program he launched to bring relief to officers who respond to an average of 30 to 45 mental health calls every week.
Chaka Zulu is longtime manager for rapper Ludacris and co-founder of Disturbing the Peace record label, has been charged with murder and a list of other charges. Officials confirmed these charges stem from a June 26 shooting incident that occurred outside of his Buckhead restaurant, APT 4B. In the June incident, Zulu, whose real name is Ahmed Abafemi, was one of 3 people shot in the parking lot. The shooting left 23-year-old Artez Benton dead and Obafemi and another person in the hospital. Obafemi surrendered to authorities on September 13th and bonded out the same day. Obafemi is also charged with aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and simple battery, according to jail records.
A Dunlap, Tennessee woman missing since June 2018 will be featured on the TV show Cold Justice at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time Saturday on the Oxygen Tune Crime Channel. Tiffany Diane Holbert, 42, was last seen by family on June 13, 2018, according to police in Dunlap. She vanished after she left her home on Creekview Lane to go for a walk and was last seen walking toward U.S. Highway 127. As the investigation continued in 2020, detectives said the person of interest in the case was a man described as her boyfriend at the time. Authorities made contact with him, but they said he did not agree to a formal interview with police.
A new streaming series takes Star Wars fans into the earliest days of the rebellion. The Force is strong with Rick DeMagella in this report.
To steal from the Empire? You just walk in like you belong.
Andor is a prequel to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
They can't imagine that someone like me would ever get inside their house.
Diego Luna is back as Rogue One's Cassian Andor.
I was part of the whole process. I had chance to digest everything, to understand deeper why things were this way or this other way, to be part of the process of choosing the cast, the team, looking at the designs and getting it all in.
Genevieve O'Reilly reprises her role as Mon Mothma, a character she has portrayed on film in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and the animated Star Wars Rebels.
I feel incredibly fortunate to have been afforded the opportunity to step into the shoes of this woman at different times in my life, which are reflective of the different times in her life.
Diego Luna shares that sentiment.
I am a very lucky man, you know. I thought Rogue One was the only chance I was gonna have to be part of this world, and suddenly here I am, you know, still talking to audiences about new stuff coming out and getting the chance to explore deeper on the character.
Every day we wait, they get stronger.
Let's take them by surprise.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
The Andor series was previously expected to debut in 2021 before the production was delayed by the COVID-19 pandemic. It is now scheduled to premiere on Disney Plus on Wednesday, September 21st, with the first 3 episodes being released. The rest of the 12-episode first season will be released weekly.
Ahoy, matey. Are you looking for a little fun? You best know some King's English because it's International Talk Like a Pirate Day. You don't need a pirate ship treehouse like this one to celebrate. Shiver me timbers, that's commitment. To enjoy the party pleasure of the day, just grab your first mate, use a little of your booty to dress the part, hoist your Jolly Roger, sing a little shanty while you scrub the deck, and try not to be too much of a scallywag. The idea was born nearly 30 years ago when 2 friends on a racquetball court started ribbing each other in pirate slang. Don't worry, neither of them had to walk the plank.
We are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
You will also find more online at our website, bchs.tv.
Please remind your friends to like, subscribe, and share on our YouTube channel, BCHS Fair Network.
Tune in each weekday for our newscast. Just can't get enough Vox.
That is all we have for you today from Studio H12 in the Shroyer Broadcasting Center at Bradley Central High School.
From all of us with Vox News, thank you for watching.
We hope you have a splendid day.
And as always, God bless and go Bears.